Welcome back to Simbright Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew this trendy kimono jacket with Aso-oke you are seeing right here. So this is what I got right here. I'll be sharing with you the tips and tricks to sewing this Aso-oke that is trending the way it is right here. You can get a matching Ankara trouser for it. I made use of 2 yards of Ankara fabric and 4 rows of Aso-oke fabric. So your Ankara fabric has to be 2 yards and the rows of Aso-oke is 4. So if you go to the market, tell them you need 4 rows. So here is 45 inches length of Ankara and 2 yards. The first thing you are going to do is to place your 2 yards on fold this way. After placing it on one fold, this is the folded part and this is the open part. Now you are going to fold it again, folding it using your hip circumference divided by 4 plus 4 more inches. You can do 3 or 4 inches more to your hip divided by 4. So here is my hip divided by 4. My hip divided by 4 is 12 inches. Then I added 4 more inches, making everything a total of 16 inches. Next, you go ahead and cut off the excess. This is me cutting out the excess right now. So the width of this fabric is 16 inches, while the length I'm using 34 inches. So I just mark my length at 34 inches and cut out the excess as shown. Next, we are going to go over to the drafting of the neckline. On the neckline, I'm going to mark my neck width. The neck width I'm using here is 3 inches. Neck width is 3 inches and neck depth is 1 inch for the back. Neck depth for the front is 9 inches, and from that 9 inches I'll go in by 2 inches. I'm going to connect the 2 inches into the 3 inches width of neckline. Then we are going to mark 2 inches from that point all the way down. I'm going to highlight that line. So this is the part we are going to sew our strips. So after marking out that line, we'll go ahead to cut out the back neckline only. Cut out the back neckline this way. Open up your fabric. Spread it very open. So we'll be able to cut out the front piece. So this is me cutting out the front neckline right now. I'm going to cut it from the beginning to the end. After cutting out that part, we are going to replace that part with the Aso-oke strip, as you can see on the video. So this is what we got right here. So like I said, I'm using 4 strips of Aso-oke. I will get the Aso-oke because the 4 strips or the 4 number is very long. You don't even need to take the measurement of your neckline. All you need to do is just to fold the Aso-oke the way you see me fold it right now. We are going to fold it into 2 this way and then start from one end of that strip part and sew in to the end. We'll go ahead and sew it like this till I get to the end of the strip. So after sewing, this is it. Next, we are going to give it a good press this way. So you can see how I stitched it. I just stitched it in the way you see it. Of course, you know how to go about it. Make sure you give it a good press so it relaxes nice and flat. Next, we are going to open up the side. So you continue with the rows of Aso-oke, okay? Just continue with that length. Now, I'm going to place this right side to right side. We are going to stitch it in. After stitching, this is what I got. So you can see this actually looks beautiful and nice the way it is already. So the next we want to do is to sew the down part. So I'll be using one part of the down part to show you how to go about it. So you come out a little bit by 3/4 of an inch and tuck it in this way. And when you get to the end too, you come out 3/4 of an inch, and so you can be able to finish up or hem that part. So here on the machine, I just want to demonstrate to you what I mean. So I'm stitching in the Aso-oke like that. So I started from the back. You just start from the back, finish up the back piece before you sew the front piece. So here I am going to cut out the 3/4 of an inch. So you measure 3/4 of an inch from the end of that Aso-oke and cut it out this way. After cutting it out, make sure you place it on a first fold that matches with the Ankara under. Then you fold it in the way you see me do, then stitch to the end. After that is done, I'm going to show you how to finish that part up. So you are going to open it up like this and then go ahead and stitch or hem that part. I'm going to hem or stitch on it like this till I get to the end. So this is the method I'm going to use to stitch the rest of them after I'm done joining them. So this is what it looks like right here. After sewing in the Aso-oke and hemming the ends of it, this is how it looks. So this pattern that we are sewing is exactly what is on the thumbnail and on the video. Okay, we also have different versions or different ways to sew the Aso-oke. So for the pocket, you will come up by 6 inches from the down part, then go in by 1.5 inch. Then at this point, I will also go from the beginning. So from the shoulder line, you also measure 2 inches below your waistline. My waistline is 17. You can measure 18 inches or 19 inches to place your pocket. Then you go in by 1.5 inches. So here, the pocket length will be 9 inches. So I'll pick up my Aso-oke that is I have. The width of Aso-oke is just 6 inches. So the width must be 6 inches. But the length, you can make the length bigger or you can make it shorter. So I'm going to go in to sew my pocket the normal way is sewn. Then place it on that line as you can see and stitch. But the truth of the matter is that because of a large size, you might end up having a smaller pocket like this. That is if the Aso-oke remains very small. So if you're on a bigger size, you can have, if your hip is bigger, you can have a shorter Aso-oke remaining for your pocket. But that is not a problem. You can get more Aso-oke to make up the pocket. So after sewing the pocket, you are going to take 12 inches for your armhole, secure with your pin. And this is where the sleeve will go in or the hands will go in. So you stitch down like this, like a butterfly, and then you stitch like an L shape. So this pattern is an L-shaped pattern. So secure your pin right there. I'll go over to the machine, close up the way I showed. So for this particular kimono, you need to close it up in an L shape like this. Okay, so that is how to go about it. So thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.